What is up, YouTube? What is up, all my readers out there? You're here and we're gonna do another black book review, but today I have 5 gems that belong in your bookshelf. Alright, I'm gonna tell you why. These books are not in any kind of chronological order. I'm gonna tell you why they belong in your bookshelf, and I'm gonna tell you the readability, how difficult and how hard they are to read and get through, and I'm gonna tell you why you need to have them. With my first book, we have Posttraumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy. I met this sister. I'm going to go on record. She has a beautiful mind, very intelligent. She goes back and she analyzes the behaviors that black people had to use to survive through slavery and how those behaviors still exist in our culture today. So I'm not going to give you any spoilers on this book. Go pick it up. Readability on a 1 to 10, 1 being the easiest, 10 being the hardest. This is about a 3 or 4 in my opinion, maybe 8th grade level, 9th grade level. That doesn't take anything away from this book. She wanted this book to be able to be read by people on all levels, from middle school all the way up. I'm in college and I love this book. I'll read it again. Keep it with me. Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy, America's Legacy of Enduring Injury and Healing. All right, so go pick that up. Our next book, Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. This book focuses on the economic aspects of what we need to do to keep the dollar in the black community and how to rebuild Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, these places of black economic growth. He doesn't leave anything on the table. Readability, this is about maybe a 5. It's about 217 pages, but it's a great read. In order for us to get things done, we have to get things done economically as well, not just politically. So that means we don't just march in the streets. He's trying to teach you how to bounce the black dollar in the black community, the importance of starting black business, the importance of giving our money to black businesses. So I can't tell you how important this is. It's all about the dollar and why it's important in the black community. All right, if you know me, you know I'm gonna have this on here. This is The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. I have a black book review that goes in depth about this book and why it's important, but long story short, mass incarceration. There's a silent war being waged outside your doorsteps. Millions of black men are getting thrown away in prisons. Millions of our black youth are getting hit with felonies and not being able to economically compete. What I like about this book, she quotes everything, cites everything. Our youth and our black men getting thrown away in prison is detrimental to our society. All right, it's gonna stop us from reproducing. It's very important that you read this. Once you're armed with these ideas, you can't unlearn them. And once you get these ideas, you can transfer them to your children, to your youth, and let them know, let your community know what's going on and why rap music is glorifying going to prison and all this other stuff. So this is a great book. I've read it, I think, twice already by now. Readability. So readability, it's an easy read, man. Maybe a 4 or 5 on here. It's about 250 pages long. Brilliant book. Thank you, Michelle, for throwing this out there, and it should be on your bookshelf. I have another gem. This is The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams, and if you can tell by the title, it details the destruction of black civilization in the mother continent of Africa. So Chancellor Williams travels to Africa and does his research in depth. He's not talking about Africa in a vacuum. He's there, boots on ground. Why are we not learning about it in history books? This is your history book. This is where it's mentioned. So readability, it's not the easiest of reads. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. You might need a dictionary with you. It does get dry in some places. You chip away at it in little increments, but you can get it done. Has about 350 pages, and I highlight all through this book because there's some amazing things in here. All right, it belongs on your book by Dr. Cress Welsing. All right, Dr. Cress Welsing was a psychologist, a black psychologist who she went to school, and she could have easily just went to psychology, made her money, and didn't have to give anything back to the black community, but she gave us this. What really goes on in the mind of a racist European, and why they feel the need to colonize Africa. Why did they feel the need to enslave Africans and bring them over here, and all of their different symbols. So Cress Welsing, she's very heavy on symbols that are all around us to this day, from the Washington Monument to missiles to colors to games. She looks at it she gives it a psychological analysis that will have you on the edge of your seat. Now, readability, this is about a 6. It's more on the more difficult side, but it's not too hard. 290 pages long, but this book right here is a collector's item. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, she has videos on YouTube, so you can see what she's about before you get this book. But once you see these YouTube videos, you're gonna want to get the book. All right, so these have been my 5 recommendations of books that should be on every black person's bookshelf. All right, they're collector's items to me. I hope that when I pass away, I'm gonna give them to my children. And if you don't get the knowledge, if you're not arming yourself with this knowledge that our scholars are giving to us, then how can you teach the youth? How can you teach your children something that you don't know? It's extremely important. So I made this video because I'm always getting asked, like, hey, what books? I'm just starting out with this knowledge of self type deal, and I want to know what books should I read? What scholars should I be following? I just gave you 5 of them. So do me a favor, like this video, share it, and leave a comment below if you read the books, what's your favorite? I'm curious to know. All right, peace.